Well, it is one of the biggest pride parades in the world, and it is all ours. Toronto gearing up for a huge weekend of events leading up to the 38th annual Toronto Pride Parade. Our Tammy Sutherland is in the Village this morning. So much excitement. I know a lot of tourists are in town because just driving in this morning, everyone's out and about already. People are so excited for this weekend.
Yeah, they've been out since like 5 this morning or heading home from the party last night. Who knows? But we know that these guys have been out early this morning, prepping the area. Of course, getting this nice refresher of a rainbow here on the crosswalk at Church and Alexander Street ahead of Pride this weekend. Of course, we have the Pride Parade on Sunday, but the festivities actually start tonight as well. And that's going to begin with a huge road closure on Church Street. So keep in mind, Church Street will be shut down for the Community Street Festival. The shutdown itself is going to start at 10 o'clock this morning from Church and Bloor all the way down to Dundas. So keep that in mind. That is going to be just for foot traffic only as that Community Street Festival continues throughout the weekend. Also, we have the Trans March that's going to be happening tonight, a rally at 7 p.m. and then the march happening at 8 o'clock. The Dyke March is going to be on Saturday, and the Pride Parade, of course, the Grand Parade on Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It begins at Church and Bloor and will be marching all the way down Yonge Street. So, of course, lots of excitement throughout the weekend, and of course we're getting ready for it all morning long. We'll bring you more on the press throughout the morning, and also we'll be speaking to Pride's executive director a little bit later on in the show. Mel, I'll send it back to you.
Tammy, thank you so much for that. And this year's Pride isn't all celebratory. The theme this year, focusing on AIDS activism and the threat of violence that hangs over the community. Alleged serial killer Bruce McArthur appearing in court today via video. He is charged with 8 counts of first-degree murder. The 66-year-old self-employed landscaper was charged in connection with the disappearances of 8 men, many of them with connection to Toronto's gay village. Toronto police say they have 1,800 pieces of evidence, and the court appearance today is part of the process leading up to the beginning of the trial. Police have found the remains of 7 victims in large planters at a home on Mallory Crescent. They plan to do more digging at that Leaside property in the coming days and weeks. Well, Premier-designate Doug Ford says he is prepared to have the LCBO handle the sale of legalized pot, but seems none too happy that the federal government has thrust the mess onto the provinces.
This is a path that we've never went down. This is a path that the federal government has dumped on all the provinces, but we are going to sit down with our caucus, discuss it with all the municipal leaders and mayors across this great province.
Ford appears ready to roll with the Wynne Liberals' plan to sell legal pot through a separate arm of the stores overseen by the LCBO come October. But Ford seems to be open to making changes to the distribution system once it is in place. While campaigning for Premier, Ford seemed open to privatizing pot sales. This week, the feds said pot will go on sale legally October 17th. The Ford PCs take power next Friday. All right, so we were just chatting about this. Melania Trump becoming the first of the president's inner circle to get a first-hand look at the facility detaining children separated from their parents. Now, the trip by the First Lady, it was unannounced. She visited the detention center in Texas, not far from the Mexican border. The visit comes just one day after her husband, Donald Trump, ordering a temporary halt to separating migrant parents from their kids. Melania said she wanted to see the impact of what was happening to these kids. However, the visit seems to have been overshadowed by what the First Lady wore to and from Texas, a confusing counter message. So the First Lady donning a military jacket here with a graffiti message on the back saying, "I really don't care, do you?" Many quick to take to social media to blast Melania, claiming it was insensitive considering the purpose of her visit. But the president was quick to defend his wife on Twitter, saying this, "I really don't care, do you?" written on the back of Melania's jacket refers to the fake news media. Melania has learned how dishonest they are, and she truly no longer cares. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for the First Lady releasing a statement saying, "It's a jacket. There was no hidden message. After today's important visit to Texas, I hope the media isn't going to choose to focus on her wardrobe." I'm sure a lot of people discussing this one today, so continue that discussion online with us at BT Toronto. It is 6:07. Let's get downstairs to Winston.